Hey guys, what's going on? It's Colin here again. Today I'm back with another kitchen table fan video. This is what I'm assuming is a 1980s Robeson Box fan. And it's got a bit of an interesting story behind it. So, when I was little, I started trying out a different place for golf lessons. I still play golf, but I haven't taken a lesson in a while, but I still play. But I was probably, I don't know, probably like 7, 8, 9, 10, max of 11. I don't even know. it was a while ago. But first time I went to this was a new place I was going for golf lessons. Kind of a private guy doing it on the side or whatever. He's like a golf pro or whatever. But anyways, walked in. He had like an indoor setup with like a slow motion camera and a net and stuff. It was kind of cool. Like he could actually like analyze your swing and stuff. But whatever. Anyways, this thing was sitting in the corner. All dusty and gross, and it kind of sat there. I never saw it run. And then one time I came in and there was a brand new piece of crap, Glasgow, like 3733 box fan sitting there. So kind of said, huh, that's interesting. I hope you didn't throw the old one out. So at the end of the lesson I asked him, I said, what happened to that old box fan you had? He said, oh, I still have it. It's sitting in the other room unused. You want it? And I said, sure. And I told my mom, like, my golf instructor just gave me a fan. She was like, great. She was expecting it to be like the small desk fan he had, and I brought this thing out. Which was a little surprising to her. But, yeah, so I actually got this fan off my golf teacher, which is kind of interesting. It's an interesting fan. I don't know what the deal was with Robeson, but they basically copied Lakewood in a lot of ways between the handle and the speed knob, and the cabinet itself is pretty much the same, and the blade set is very much like a second-gen Lakewood blade set, just very slightly different in the center hub. But it's an interesting one. This fan was pretty beat when I got it. It still is. I haven't really done much to try and help it. When I first got it, it was like this ugly like pink or tan. And back then I wasn't really keen on keeping things original, so I went ahead and painted it. I originally had it like a hunter green almost, which I later just found was disgusting. So I went ahead and painted it this brown and painted the blades white. Looking back, I'm kind of mad at myself for doing that. I would have liked to have the original color, but the brown and white actually doesn't look too terrible. So if I ever decide to redo it, I might just keep the brown and white. But yeah, this thing's taken a beating. Grills are kind of rough. The whole cabinet is kind of like banged up. Like the top is kind of doing this, and that side over there is bowed out. This side over here is bowed out a little bit, so the grills really don't fit quite right. That's why some of the screws are missing. The other thing I did when I was little is I replaced all the screws for some reason. I don't even remember why. And I also replaced the cord with a much longer cord. Again, for some reason, I don't remember why. Well, actually, you know what? There was a legitimate reason for the cord, because this is the stupid thing with these fans, is that they had the cord coming out on the bottom, and the cord was very frayed, so it actually, if I remember correctly, looked like it had arced once or twice, so maybe that's why he took it out of service, I don't know, but I put this new longer cord on it and routed it out the back, which is kind of the way it's stayed since then. But yeah, I kind of wish I hadn't repainted it, especially seeing as though I did such a crappy job when I was little. But, yeah, what are you going to do? You can't reverse time, so I guess we'll just kind of have to roll with it. But, anyways, I'm going to take you guys off the tripod here, and we'll take a closer look. Alright, so, we're off the tripod here. You can see what I mean about the top being bowed in. Here's the grill, and well, actually, the back there is a better shot. Hopefully you can see. This is actually the grill here. So this whole thing is bowed in a lot. And actually, when you lift the fan up, you can kind of hear the metal flex. It kind of makes a little ba-doink sound. But yeah, like, not all the screw holes really line up anymore. That one is, like, impossible. Over here, it's kind of bowed out. And same thing over here a little bit. Grill design is interesting. The front grill's not in too terrible shape. There's a slat missing here. There's one broken here. There's a couple broken down here. It's kind of dirty. I haven't cleaned or serviced this thing in God knows how long. Normally, I kind of just, bust all the fans out in the early spring, listen to them. If they sound like they're dry, I add oil. If they don't, I don't worry about them. But I'm starting to change that. I'm starting to try and get to servicing them all a little more frequently. But yeah, this paint job is kind of beat up. It's gotten really beat up over the years. It wasn't great to start with. Like, look at this run. Oh, God. I kind of sucked at spray painting when I was little. Guess you can forgive me. But that actually right there is the original color peeking through, because I didn't strip it, I just painted over it. But unfortunately, there's really no way to save it. But yeah, you could see all the dings and marks and stuff, especially seeing as though the color underneath is so much lighter. Go ahead and, it's literally like a liquid handle and speed knob too. Robeson 3-speed. Yes, I tore the label and tried to paint over it. It's slightly embarrassing showing you guys this, but I was just a little kid. I didn't know any better. But yeah, this side's pretty rough too. But I mean, I could strip it and repaint it, and it would probably come out much better. I just don't really feel like it. I think there's actually something of a tag still on the bottom, if I remember. Oh, that's also the original color. Apparently, I didn't bother to paint the bottom. But yes, there is. Hold on. So these tags are always upside down. There's your information. There is a model number there. I can't really read it from my angle, but hopefully you guys can read it. But maybe that will give you an indication of the year or something. This bottom seam here is actually slightly coming apart. Might have to re-rivet that. This rivet's really loose. Okay, go ahead. The back grill on this thing is so beat. You won't believe it. It's ridiculous. I don't know what they did to this fan, but it's lived a hard life. You can see that hole is way off. That's like a good ½ inch off. So that's how bowed it is. This corner's missing, this corner's missing and cracked. There's 3 here missing, 3 slats it is. 1 here, and too many to count over here. So that's a little rough. You could see, actually, I should pop this thing back on its face. This is where the cord originally came out, and it didn't really have any feet on it, which that didn't end well. That was I always thought that was a stupid design. So I took this extra cord I had lying around. It's nice and long. I routed it out the back, like all fans should have. It's got the Macmillan motor in it, I believe. I don't know if there's still a tag on it, though. I'm not seeing one. Oh, there's the remains of one right there. Yeah, that's gone. You can see it's only held in by 2 bolts. Yeah, I really haven't done a whole lot to this fan since I, like painted it really, other than servicing it every once in a while. But yeah, this fan needs some help. Might have to do a clean and service video on this at some point. You can actually see little bits of the green color I had it painted at some point. I don't know what I was thinking there. You know what, I do know what I was thinking there. That was the color, that was like the one spray can I could find in my grandpa's basement, so I used it. That's what I was thinking, but anyways, actually, before I do that, you can see the blade design is basically the same, but the hub is different. You can see it's a solid hub. There's no like indentations or anything, just one small hole there, maybe so you could get like a zoom spout oiler in there or something. But I'm not really going to pull this grill off so you can see it any better, but there you go. It's almost like a, you know what it is? It's like a 2nd gen blade on a 3rd gen hub. It's the best way I could describe it. Also, this is the Robeson grill. It's got the little, like, I guess that's like a sun thing in the center there. But it's just got these really fine slats here. And not the, like, diagonal braces. In fact, this might actually be on backwards. The front grill is probably on the back. I bet that's what it is. I bet those fine slat things went over the motor originally. That's my guess. I probably threw these on the other way around because this one's in worse shape. But yeah, that's my new guess. But anyways, I'm gonna throw you guys up on the tripod and I'll show you guys how it works. Alright, as always, I'll give you a startup sound in just a second here. I'm gonna go ahead and point this away from the camera and start it up on high. Grills rattle slightly because they're not screwed in all the way, but performs pretty much the way I would expect the 2nd gen liquid to. Not that I've actually owned one, but got a pretty decent breeze coming out of it. It's a little bit loud on high, but not too terrible, especially when you consider the amount of air coming out. There's medium. Here's low. It's got a nice low, which I think is something that more box fans should have. You know, a nice powerful high and a nice quiet slow low. But it's actually still throwing out a really good breeze. So I'm going to point this back at the camera so you can get the camera wind noise, you know, airflow meter test. It's a nice, I guess it's slightly off of balance. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's kind of shimmying back and forth a little bit. But it's got a nice, like, gentle breeze coming out on low. But I'll go back up to high. The more aggressive breeze. And we'll do a spin down. The thing with these fans I've found is that they move a decent volume of air, but there's not a lot of pressure behind the air they move. As opposed to like the 16-inch Galaxy table fan that you guys probably saw the video on. That moves a lot of air, like a high volume, and it's a high pressure, so it almost feels like more air. But that thing definitely needs some oil. That's a pretty quick spin down, but yeah, let me bring you guys around to the back and I'll give you a startup sound. Alright, this is about as close to the motor as I can get you guys, but let's start up on low first. There is a startup sound there, it's pretty quiet though. I will say, these motors have the most epic startup sounds ever if you put like a really heavy metal blade on them. Obviously you don't want to do that for too long because you're probably overstressing it, but I threw a huge metal blade on this motor and it had the most epic startup sound ever. I might have to do that at some point again for you guys. But anyways, let's start up on high here. Yeah, definitely needs some servicing, but startup sound's there, it's just kind of subtle. Quickly, before we end the video, I know I'm probably exceeding the limit of my table here a little bit. But I just wanted to do one quick comparison between these two fans. The Eagle Air is on the right, which you guys saw the video on. Since learned, or somebody on the interwebs at least said that Frigid, which made Eagle Air, was really just another name. So it's like a name on top of a name, and that the Eagle Air fan there was really made by Robeson. So figured I'd just compare them. And it is actually pretty darn similar. I think the Eagle Air is slightly earlier than the Robeson that we just took a look at, but that blade is pretty darn similar if you ask me. The hub is slightly different though. The Eagle Air's got some vent holes in it, but I just figured I'd do a quick comparison there before we end the video. So anyways guys, that's going to be all for this video. Really not sure whether I'm going to get to doing the clean service anytime soon, because this thing, honestly, like most of my fans, they don't get used a whole ton. But we'll see. If I'm going to do it, I'll do a video on it. But I don't know what I'm going to do, because at some point I would like to like repaint it at some point. But I'm really not sure when. But anyways, guys, thank you all for watching. If you like what you see, hit the little like and subscribe buttons, especially if you're one of those people of the 85% who are watching and not subscribed. Appreciate it if you just hit the little subscribe button. Doesn't cost anything, doesn't bite. And by all means, leave a comment if you have one, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.